It's good to be back. We had a wonderful 40th anniversary trip. We had been thinking about where do we want to go, what do we want to do. We decided to do one of those bucket list things and go see the Northern Lights. And it was so fun. The Lord just allowed it to be the most peaceful, restful time. And I appreciate Him so much for doing that. At this time of the year, Iceland is usually very damp, and you can expect rain anytime within a day. It's usually very, very cloudy, they say. But the Lord made sure. I don't think it rained one time when we wanted to be out or looking. It was perfect weather. It was perfect weather. I think it was supposed to be in the low 40s, and it was fine. The wind was blowing. But the night that we decided to see the Northern Lights, we were so exhausted because the time is 5 hours difference there, and you're 5 hours ahead of your day here. So it was so hard to stay up late there to see the Northern Lights. So the first night, I was following some kind of a weather thing to see when is the Northern Lights going to show. And I literally could not force myself to stay awake. I thought, dear God, this is going to have to be an all-out war tomorrow night because we can't come here and miss the Northern Lights. So on the way up, one of the ladies said, did you see the Northern Lights last night? We said, no. When did you see them? She said, 10 o'clock. I said, you're kidding. They said it wasn't going to be till 12 midnight. She said, no. So I thought, okay, tonight's the night. And it was so bitter cold that night, and the wind was blowing so hard. And I was just dreading, you're like, after jet lag, you're just going further down every few minutes. And I thought, Lord, it would be so nice if we could see the Northern Lights from our room window that opened, because I'm so cold and I'm so tired. And we put the window down at about 10, right around 10 o'clock. And all of a sudden, my husband said, there's Northern Lights. I jump out of the bed and I run over to the window. And they were so unique. Unlike like clouds in the sky where they're high enough up that you're getting kind of a flat look at them. Like stars, you just get a one-side view of them. And I was expecting them to be like clouds up in the sky. But they weren't. They were like clouds going vertical. So it was like this movement like this. But when you looked up, it looked like they were maybe 50 or 100 feet above your head. They were so close. You were shocked. You're like, wait, what? I thought they were like going to be way over there. But they were like 50 feet, and they were just kind of moving like this, and they weren't flat. I thought they would be kind of like you look at a star and it's that flat look in the sky. When you look at people's pictures, it looks kind of like it's going to be a flat movement like that. They were thick. So it was like this thick 3D cloud moving like this. And I told my husband, said, this looks exactly like I envisioned the glory of God. Like it was just a cloud moving like this and making different, going horizontal, making like a rainbow pattern. Then it would lift up over this side and go this way. It was so beautiful and so unique. And you couldn't help but watch them and not feel closer to the Creator. Because He does things so magnificently. And it's in those moments that we realize, sometimes we get so used to the trees and the flowers and the change of the season. And God forbid, but sometimes it doesn't seem supernatural. It doesn't seem unique and creative. But yet, the closer you get to the heart of God, the more you understand, wow, how does this tree look all but dead and then start blooming again in the spring? And the Lord was with us the whole trip. I said, Lord, I want to see whales, but I want to see them over there. I had gotten us a rib boat. So we were in an outdoor boat because they said, we can go faster and we can find the whales faster than all those, the big old catamarans and stuff like that. So I had rented that. But unfortunately, it had dropped from the 40 degrees. It was supposed to drop to 29. And a snow dusting was all over the ground. And we were like, oh, my Lord. So we doubled up on our clothes, whatever. Then they give us this big life jacket jumpsuit to put on top of everything else to try to keep you alive in the water if God forbid, you go over, which we already made up our mind. If that happens, we're gone. Like, in 1 minute, it's so cold. We won't last 30 seconds in that cold water. So we hopped on board really quick. We were all gung-ho like we always are. Hopped on that very front seat. And they took off about 60, 65 miles an hour, just flying down the water. After about 10 minutes, I thought, where's the whales? And we're just flying like we've got a long way to go. I'm thinking, wow, thank God this, life-saving suit is warm because my head wasn't covered except with a little bit of a hat they convinced me to bring, which I didn't think I could ever get cold enough to need that. But that freezing cold water air on your head just starts going like this. When the water sprays up from the boat, it's already ice by the time it touches you. So we're just flying down about 30 minutes in 29-degree weather. And what started out being a nice, cozy, life-saving suit turns out to be that wasn't near enough. So by the time we start seeing whales and beautiful, they're just moving in, and God kept them far enough away. And then I changed my mind halfway through. I said, Lord, you can bring them closer. But he already had my other prayer in activity, so he kept them further enough away that I wasn't afraid of anything. And we got in the car. We stayed out there for like an hour, and you were getting so cold, like it's the deep cold where you ache. And I looked at my husband. I said, that Everest trip we were planning, that's canceled. We won't make it to base camp. So he goes, I know, like the cold was just down in your bones now. And finally they said, we'll wait for one more whale. And we're just thinking, no, we've seen enough whales. Let's go. And we had a 30-minute trip home after that freezing cold. You're just aching. I found myself sticking my head down in the life-saving gear and just moaning. I was going, ooh. And I seen something look this big. It was the ship. You can't tell distance there because the landscaping it's like the moon. It's just there's no trees, so you just have this land. It just goes on. So a road can be really, really far. The only way you can tell it's the cars look this big, So the boat just took forever, and then there was this waterfall coming down, and instead of going to the boat, he starts angling us this way. We're thinking, God forbid we go over there. We're like freezing to death. He kept getting us closer. We're like 10 feet from this waterfall. And as we got into where the mist was going, I thought, my Lord, is he going to get us wet? We're going to die. And we got right about 10 feet into the hole where the spray was, and it was warm in this little bubble. It was a hot water spring, a waterfall going down into the ocean. And we finally made it back to the boat. But I just thought to myself, when you pray over things before you go, and then you just pray while you're there, you haven't missed anything. The presence of the Lord meets you so beautifully, and he gives you special little moments and special little things that are even more special than you thought that they could be. And I just wanted to share a few minutes of our 40th anniversary with you this morning, just so you could have enjoyed part of the trip with us. But it was so beautiful, and we just got along so good, and we made each other laugh. The thing that always makes me happy is when you're relaxed enough that you can remember how to make each other laugh. And I just want to thank the Lord for being with us and being able to come back. My husband came back with a horrible flu on that on the flight. He started having all these symptoms right on the flight, and then the next day I got it. But we had such a beautiful trip, and I just wanted to share a minute of it with you this morning. Lord bless you.